Good morning and welcome to Smell the Coffee with Ashwin Berry and Glenora Shipura, where we don't just smell the coffee, we drink it. How's it going?
It's going quite well. Yes. So, Ashwin, you never told me how you like your coffee. I know we're...
I like my coffee.
Yes.
All right.
Do you like it with a little bit of cream in it?
I like my coffee the way I like my woman, black with sugar.
Okay, but they do say, apparently psychology says, if you like your coffee black with no sugar, tendencies to be a psychopath are very high in people.
I don't know. I just feel like when cattle, you know, when they give out milk, it's for their calves, it's for like their kids.
Yeah.
So I feel like whoever is taking milk from
like
the kid is maybe the psychopath.
But you also like it with sugar, so it's fine. But
Sugar,
the
sugar occasionally, honestly,
yes,
occasionally.
Occasionally.
Yeah,
So
occasionally.
usually just dark.
I try to avoid sugar.
It's very good.
Yeah.
It's a very good call. But
Yeah.
there's apparently a study that correlates
How do you like your coffee?
psychopathy with...
Yeah, we are dissecting my love of coffee. Let's get to yours.
Yeah, no, I like it dark. Yeah,
Dark.
That's how I know this. I was like, is
All
there
right.
something wrong with people
Is this
who
something?
like...
Yeah, no. I think, have your coffee the way you want to have it. You know what I'm saying? If you like it sweet, you like it sweet. If you like it dark, you like it dark.
Yeah, if you like a little bit of milk.
Yes. Aina doesn't like coffee.
Yeah, she's
I know
a
I'm
tea person.
snitching because she's the main host of Smell the Coffee. I just want y'all to know that she doesn't like coffee. But what's interesting is she loves the smell of coffee. She loves the smell of coffee. And there was a time she did this event. She was doing My.NA Properties, if I'm not mistaken. She was doing an interview. And she actually decided to sit down and have coffee that one day. My goodness. I've never seen so much energy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, she already has so much energy. Maybe it's good that she stays away from
Keep
coffee.
it, keep it like that. All right, so we have plenty of actual coffee. When we say actual coffee on this show, we're talking about news coming up after the break.
E-Ticket, your online ticket solution for events and event marketing, bringing you ease of mind and making sure that your event gets out there. For more information, contact events@nmh.com.na.
All right, this is still Smell the Coffee. Let's get into the news stories. Before we get into it, Glenora, how much time do you think you can spend alone with zero human contact, no animals, nothing, just you by yourself?
Cell phone?
No cell phone.
Oh, wow. Maybe 24 hours. I think so.
Maybe 24 hours.
Yeah.
Well, a Spanish extreme athlete has emerged from a cave after spending 500 days with no human contact in what could be a world record. When Beatriz Flamini entered the cave in Granada, Russia had not invaded Ukraine and the world was still in the grip of the COVID pandemic. It was part of an experiment closely monitored by scientists. I'm still stuck on November 21, 2021. I don't know anything about the world, she said after exiting the cave. My goodness.
Wow.
Can you
Is
just-
she now a Buddhist monk or something?
I mean, it was just, she's an athlete. So these people are called extreme athletes, people who try to test, the limitations of human capabilities. 500 days is a long time. I mean, you said you couldn't do 24 hours.
I can do 24 hours, maybe beyond 24 hours. It's
500 days is long.
Yeah.
I mean, what happened since 2021 November?
I know. I bet she's also coming out and she's like, what?
Yeah.
What is going on in the world?
Exactly. And if she was in Africa, for example, let's say she was African, she would come out and she'd be like, what? Tabo Besta? You know what I mean? Like all of these
Exactly,
things.
yeah.
A lot has happened, but I think it takes a lot of mental fortitude to take, on that kind of solitude. I feel like sometimes our minds can turn on us.
Yes.
As human beings. So for you to be able to just go through that, whatever mood, one thing I know for sure is whoever she didn't like when she came out of there, she was clear on why she didn't like them. Whoever she loved, she was clear. Like, I think like all her relationships are like exactly where they're supposed to be, because you reflect and you do boundaries.
That girl.
500 days is a long time. You'll be like, that one girl who took the pencil from me in nursery school, how dare she?
Well, to be fair, I did do 10 days of silence. It's a Vipassana retreat. You can do it in Cape Town.
Oh.
So
I don't want to be doing the fanciest
I
things.
know.
10
I
days.
know.
Why didn't you just keep quiet for 10 days?
Silence. Yeah, 10 days of
So
silence.
you paid to go and keep quiet.
Yes, exactly. I meant to go keep quiet. So, but it's meant to harness inner stillness, peace. So maybe that's what I'm thinking. She maybe came out of this experience like a whole Buddhist monk. She's very enlightened.
Oh, yes.
Love, peace and light to everybody, maybe.
All right. Well, swinging from peace and light, we have a story that is quite disheartening.
Yes, Moonbin K-pop star dies at the age of 25 in suspected suicide. K-pop star Moonbin has died at the age of 25, his record label has announced. He was found unresponsive by his manager at his apartment in Seoul on Wednesday night. South Korean media quoted police as saying he appears to have taken his own life, but an autopsy is being reviewed to determine the exact cause of death, the police said. Now, Moonbin had been an actor and model before joining the boy band Astro in 2016, a well-established K-pop group. He also performed with a subgroup called Moonbin and Sunha. Moonbin is the latest K-pop star to lose their life in recent years. Singer and actress Gu Hara was founded at her home in Seoul in 2019. Her close friend K-pop star Sully killed herself after a long struggle with online bullying in the same year. In 2018, Minwoo of boy band 100% died at home, with his label only saying he had suffered a cardiac arrest. Jonghyun, a member of one of South Korea's biggest boy bands, Shine, passed away in 2017.
Yikes. I mean, very sad, and of course it seems questionable how these stars are dying.
Yes, and apparently South Korea has one of the highest rates of suicide of all developed countries.
Wow. You know, I was talking to the South Korean entertainment ambassador to Africa at large, Diana Masters, and she was telling me about the history that some of these, it's called the company, the guys who run a lot of the K-pop industry, that they have with not particularly treating these guys well, the artists well, and their fan bases can be very extreme, of course, excluding Diana Master, who is the South Korea entertainment ambassador to Africa at large. But in general, they can be mean. For example, they get upset if a star gets married, because they essentially need to sustain this fantasy of the star being theirs. You know what I mean? Like, so it creates a sense of like ownership and entitlement with the fans. I remember there was once a South Korean fan who had her hair pulled, and I think a guy might have tried to kill her, if I'm not mistaken, something like that. So it can get really crazy in that industry, and I'm always curious if there's any like accountable body, you know what I mean, when it comes to what happens in K-pop. Speaking of accountability, Universal Music Group calls AI music a fraud and wants it banned from streaming platforms. Now, the music company representing superstars including Sting, The Weeknd, Nicki Minaj and Ariana Grande has a new Goliath to contend with, which is artificial intelligence. The group sent urgent letters in April to streaming platforms asking them to block artificial intelligence platforms from training on the melodies and lyrics of their copywritten songs. So part of what sparked this is that someone recently created an AI song by Drake and The Weeknd, and it sounds really good. And if you had been listening to Drake recently, it sounds better. So
what?
Yeah. So that's like the issue with it, because, you know, people can create something out of nothing, you know, compute it, and the Universal Music Group is saying you're taking money out of these people's pockets. I don't know how much money we're taking out of Drake's pockets. I don't know if you'll even register that the money's out. The Weeknd is pretty rich. But the idea is AI is taking over genuine human creativity, and that is a reason to panic. Of course, I could say that this will bring the rise of live shows back, human beings needing to see human beings in front of them performing art, but it is still very scary that a computer somewhere can imitate everything you are and create a similar product.
Yeah, I think it's unfair. Like, imagine us, we're replaced by AI.
Very possible.
And that's bringing the news to the people.
Very possible, very possible.
Yes, very possible.
It's already
I think
happening.
it takes away from the human quality, the human personality that brings, because AI can do the job, sure, but the soul that carries it, it's a different conversation.
But I guess the saddest part of it is we created it. Yeah.
Yes, humanity. Eh?
Humanity. Speaking of humanity.
Now, Egyptians complain over Netflix depiction of Cleopatra as black. Now, a Netflix docudrama series that depicts Queen Cleopatra VII as a black African has sparked controversy in Egypt. A lawyer has filed a complaint that accuses African Queen Cleopatra of violating media laws and aiming to erase the Egyptian identity. A top archaeologist insisted Cleopatra was light-skinned, not black. But the producers said her heritage is highly debated, and the actress playing her told critics, if you don't like the casting, don't watch the show. Now, Adele James made the comment in a Twitter post featuring screen grabs of abusive comments that included racist slurs. Jada Pinkett Smith, the American actress who was executive producer and narrator, was meanwhile quoted as saying, we don't often get to see or hear stories about black queens, and that was really important for me, as well as for my daughter, and just for my community to be able to know these stories, because there are tons of them.
I've met several Egyptians, and the Egyptians I've met who are light-skinned tell me very clearly that Egypt's history is black. Egyptians on the ground, the ones that I've known, they say that. You know what I'm saying? And history says that. It's a logical conclusion. Now, I mean, of course, where you see a country's representation looking different, some people might feel stirred up in a different way, a racist way, perhaps. But I do think that it's always kind of been known. I mean, remember when the Moses movie came out from Hollywood and Moses was white? That is not possible.
Yes. Totally understand
Period.
that. Yes.
But there was no complaint there. Do you get my point? Now, with Cleopatra, it is definitely possible. Remember, the debate they're saying is she was light-skinned, not black.
But she was black, yeah.
Do you get my point?
Yes.
You said what I'm saying. So we can talk about semantics, we can talk about what's in between, but as far as my understanding, Africa, particularly in that region, was black. And the Egyptians, I know, have told me that.
But because I'm not too familiar with the Egyptians, and but you have had at least a few conversations. Because when I was reading this, I was like, is it a case of, let's say in Namibia, let's bring it home, right?
Yeah.
We have colored bastards.
Yes.
They are fairly lighter skinned, but they're still characterized as black. So we have a story that's in a bastard community, but I'm acting as a is that the situation that we're having here?
It might be, but the only difference is the story would have happened prior to the bastard community. So we're talking about the story from when the Nama women had to protect their mixed children from German invaders and all of that, right? So this is Cleopatra, in my opinion, is from the Nama part of it, before it graduated into this new community.
I hear what you mean.
And that's why pharaohs' noses are typically wide if they're not shot. You know what I'm saying? If they had it, because that's something that also happened in the changing and erasure of history. My point is this: I don't see anything wrong with it. I think that there's a lot to be embraced about Africa, and I think that there's a lot of Arab stories to be told. But I also think that history hasn't really lied to us. It's been fairly consistent. Of course, the Egyptians are the ones who get to decide how they get depicted. But historically, a lot of Africans lived in that space. A lot of Africans moved out, and people just know what it is. And it is interesting that no one has a problem with a Moses who's white, which is historically impossible, next to a Cleopatra who was black, which is very possible historically.
Yes, and it's just a debate whether she was light-skinned or... exactly. It's just a debate. But she was definitely black.
She was definitely black. But what matters is that it is a beautiful story, I assume, from my understanding, from reading the Cleopatra story. A wonderful character. Maybe we should just watch the movie, make our judgments by ourselves. After the break, we're going to go straight into an interview with Fly SA by the one and only Diana Master.
Now, this year's Tourism Expo theme is Beyond Borders, and keeping in line with that, we're here to talk Fly SAA, and we have with us in studio Wilhelmine. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you, Diana. Thank you for having me here.
It's a pleasure having you. So, of course, let's talk about Fly SAA. What routes do you have available? You recently came back into the market. So tell us about that.
Thank you. South African Airways is back in the market, in the Namibian market. Our first restart flight was on the 8th of December last year, just before festive season. And so we have double daily flights from Johannesburg into Windhoek. The flights from Joburg departs at 9 o'clock in the morning, and the later flight 3 o'clock from Joburg. And the Windhoek-Johannesburg flights, we have a flight at 11:50 and a later flight at 17:45. So out of Joburg, we operate to other 9 destinations. We have flights to Nigeria, Lagos. We have flights to Accra in Ghana. We operate to Lusaka in Zambia. And we fly to the mighty Victoria Falls, Harare in Zimbabwe. So we have 2 flights to Harare and to Victoria Falls.
Okay.
And we have a flight to Kinshasa out of Joburg. Then the holiday destination Mauritius, which is beautiful. And then the recent flight that we have just added on our route network is the Blantyre and Lilongwe, which is on a triangular flight.
Okay.
So that's in Malawi. And business is doing well, and it's picking up, and we're happy to be back in the industry.
Awesome. I actually have been a very frequent flyer on Fly SAA. Now, keeping with that, you're launching your Voyage Miles program at the Expo. Tell us about that.
Okay. The SAA frequent flyer program, it's called Voyager. That is Africa's first revenue-based frequent flyer program that we have, and this offers our passengers to earn miles on their tickets, on the tickets that have flown, and not on the distance that they're traveling. So it's on the ticket price and not on the distance that they have traveled.
See. Okay.
Yeah, so the Voyager program actually allows you to earn your miles, and you can redeem your miles into travel tickets actually, and also use them to upgrade yourself from economic class to business class. So for SAA's main focus this year at the Expo is to promote and market our Voyager program. We actually would like our flying public to register on the Voyager, and also to know what other products we have in the market and what services that SAA actually offers. So the frequent flyer program is a revenue based on the ticket price.
Okay.
And for that you register on the website, on the flysaa.com website, and then you just need your passport number and your details. You can register, and you get a number. So for every time when you travel, that number you insert it in the booking before you travel or before you check in at the airport.
Yes.
Yeah, so that number has to be in so that your miles are automatically updated.
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
So, but if you miss giving your number at the booking time,
unfortunately,
you have 13 months actually.
Oh, really? To redeem?
Yeah, actually not to redeem, but you can actually just
to add on.
Yes.
Oh, that is amazing.
Yeah.
So there's I wouldn't say a misconception per se, but there is some sort of debate about how Windhoek to Harare is actually one of the more expensive flights. Do you think that's true?
Not per se, because I think it's we have competitive rates in the market, and the earlier you book your flight, the cheaper your flight becomes. So and Namibians are late bookers. So if you book your flight early, you get your cheaper flight. But so Harare is a busy route. So I would say it's book early, get the cheapest route.
Yes, of course. Now, why is it important for Fly SAA to be at the Tourism Expo?
The Tourism Expo offers the hospitality and tourism industry a great marketing platform for the travel partners and the tourism partners to showcase their products and services at this Tourism Expo. So this is where you meet to engage, network with all the tourism partners in Namibia. And SAA's mandate is to promote and to offer a connectivity between Namibia and other destinations in the region and around the world.
Yes.
So our main focus, why SA is taking part this year, is to showcase, because we just restarted in the market. So we want to be out there and promote the brand, create awareness of our products and services. Why, where are we flying to? What is our route network? And also to showcase the brand with the flying public and the general public. So we are happy and excited that we are back in the market and we can actually exhibit at the Tourism Expo and engage and network with the other tourism partners.
Definitely.
This is also a great platform where we can have B2B meetings with the other tourism partners in the hospitality industry. And the reason because tourism is a major contributor to the GDP
Definitely in
Namibia.
Yes.
So remember, COVID was here.
Yes, and
businesses
the
went
industry
down.
is still recovering.
It's recovering and
Yes.
it's picking up well. So
That is
we would
awesome.
love to be there.
So what are you looking forward to the most at the expo?
It's an exciting 3 days. It's going to be a very exciting 3 days. We're looking forward to the public coming to the SAA stand, getting to know the product, asking more questions, because at the end of the day, this is about getting feedback from the
Yes,
general
definitely.
public. And also, people don't really have time to read newspapers, read whatever information that you share via emails. But this is now the great network where you engage directly with the passengers and they're asking more questions. And also getting to know more about the services that we offer on board in terms of we do group travel, which is very big in Namibia, especially the sports groups, and also that we offer other services on board, which can be unaccompanied minors. We offer wheelchair for people that need. So those are all the extra services that we offer on board.
Nice.
And apart from that, we as a SAA give competitive prices in the market, and also the capacity that we have on board. We are flying with a big aircraft, which is a 320, so that offers a whole big capacity for group travels. And also the fact that our free baggage allowance that we offer in economy class, we offer 2 bags, each at 23. So you can
both
actually
bags
take
with 23 kg.
23, each at 23 kg.
That is amazing. That is
and
amazing.
in business class, each at 32, 2 bags,
Wow,
but each
at
at 32.
32.
So I think with baggage,
On top of your hand luggage.
On top
That
of
is
your hand luggage, yeah.
amazing. You actually spoke about the unaccompanied minor. The first time I flew as an unaccompanied minor was on South African Airways.
oh, that's great. So you can actually send your little one
Yes.
unaccompanied. The airline will take care of the
everything.
child, and then arrive safe
Wow.
that side.
I can actually speak for the unaccompanied minor service. Top of the notch.
Amazing.
Top of the notch. I enjoyed every minute of it. And you can imagine that was years back. So I can imagine now you've come definitely a long way. But thank you so much,
Thank
Philomene,
you.
for giving me an update. And we look forward to seeing you at the expo and chatting more. Are you going to have specials maybe?
Yes, we're inviting all the flying public, the general public, to make a visit or return at our stand number 34, and look forward to all the competitions that are taking place there.
Nice.
The focus is promoting voyages, so we will be giving away Voyager miles. So what you need to do is just come with your passport number. There's a competition that you need to complete in and throw it in the box. So we'll be doing daily competitions or draw for the first day, second day, and the last big draw is on the 28th, the last day.
Awesome.
So I would like to invite the whole public to come out at the SAA stand and get to take part in the competition and
Awesome.
learn more about SAA.
And learn more about SAA. And who
Yes.
knows, you could be flying to Mauritius with the points that you win at the stall. But this was Philomene from Fly SAA giving us an update and telling us all we need to know before you go to the Tourism Expo and visit their stall. Stick around, more Small the Coffee coming up after the break.
Thank you, Dinah.
E-ticket, your online ticket solution for events and event marketing, bringing you ease of mind and making sure that your event gets out there. events@nmh.com.na.
Now, I'm quite excited for the Carnival of Flames performance taking place at the Expo on Friday, the 28th of April, and that is the Tourism Expo that's happening between the 26th of April to the 28th of April. I'm quite excited to be there. Are you going to be there? I'm
absolutely going to be there, and we look forward to seeing you all. Thank you very much for watching Smell the Coffee this morning.